first phone at 13 years old. And at the time, I felt so far behind. Most kids I knew got their phone when they were in elementary school and had already learned all the unspoken rules of Snapchat. When I first got my phone, the only social media app I had was Instagram, and I averaged 1 hour of screen time per day. Cut to now, I have every social media app you could think of, and when someone asks me, what's your screen time? I constantly feel hesitant to admit it. Now, I hope I can keep your attention even if I end this video. To those of you who aren't familiar with this, accounts on TikTok that would repost clips from movies, TV shows, or read Reddit stories found that users were getting bored and scrolling past their videos. Their solution to this problem? Make the videos a split screen and play an entirely unrelated video side by side next to it. I know personally, I've watched entire episodes of Young Sheldon split into clips with slime tutorials playing underneath them. The reason this works has to do with our brain's natural reward system. Our brain's natural reward system exists to promote good behavior. When we perform a good behavior, our brain fills with dopamine, a neurotransmitter that makes you feel happy, telling your brain to repeat that behavior so you can get that feeling again. Now, this action of our brain has helped us into getting where we are today. In the past, when human needs met, such as getting food, our brain rewarded that behavior to promote survival. However, this becomes an issue when we can get dopamine from unnatural stimulants, such as phone usage. We open our phones, scroll on TikTok, see a funny video, and we get a rush of dopamine. But over time, our dopamine receptors become immune to this, meaning we need more and more stimulation to get the same feeling. That's how these split-screen videos came to be, to fill that constant void of stimulation. Now, we cannot entirely be blamed for this constant need. Almost all social media platforms have followed the format of TikTok, using scrollable vertical content. Why? It keeps users engaged and spending longer on the app. This is the idea of what's known as the attention economy. Social media companies want users to stay on their apps for as long as possible, to put in as many advertisements as possible, and to gain as much money as possible. This means they will do whatever it takes to keep user engagement. In a study done at Bournemouth University titled, "How Can Social Networks Trigger Fear of Missing Out?" 3 of these strategies were outlined. The first being scarcity, and that comes in the form of Instagram or Snapchat stories. Content that is only available for a certain amount of time, meaning you have to click now or never. The next is personalization. For example, the TikTok For You page, or when a tab pops up saying more like this after you show interest in a particular video. The final one is the most impactful, and that's the positive social stimuli that we get from phone usage. When we see likes and comments, we get the feeling of approval, keeping us checking for more. If we post something that doesn't perform as well, we might want to post again in order to reach the desired level. Big social media companies hire people called attention engineers, and their sole job is to track our online patterns to create strategies to keep user engagement. These strategies that they utilize are the same ones that they use in casinos. In fact, the act of pulling down on your screen to refresh is intentionally created to mimic that of pulling down on a slot machine. Now, don't be scared. There are methods to limit your phone usage. In a study done by psychology professor Alex Holt, he tested the use of grayscale as a method of preventing phone use in college students. He saw an average decrease in 37.9 minutes per day. The reason this works is how grayscale makes our phones uninteresting to look at. There's a reason the notification bubbles that pop up on your screen are red. They draw your attention, urging you to click on it and see what's new. But grayscale eliminates this. Now, the next method has to do with every AP psychology student's favorite, classical conditioning. It locks your phone, but before it does that, it plays an unconditioned stimulant in the form of a buzz or a ring. And over time, you will eventually begin to associate that stimulus with ending your phone usage. But stopping your screen time doesn't have to be some fancy method. It can be as simple as setting a time or location where you don't want to use your phone. You may say, I don't want to use my phone right when I wake up or right before I go to bed. So you say, I won't use my phone in my bed between the hours of 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. You could also try and turn on Do Not Disturb or put your phone away while you're working. You could also try and move your most used apps into different pages, put them in folders on different pages so it takes more clicks to access them. And finally, if you have a friend who's willing, you could use each other as accountability partners to limit your phone usage. Now, I'm not saying put your phones away and never touch them again. They're tools that we need to learn. And I hope you take comfort in the fact that your screen time is not your fault, and that there are methods that you can use to prevent this. And it only takes one to make a difference. So I hope you take the time to try at least one of these methods. So by the next time we talk, my answer to the question of how many minutes is your screen time, my answer won't be way too much. Thank you.